What's up guys, Ryan from AntScapes. So today's video, as you can tell by the title, is my Crematogaster Scutellaris. It's been an absolute journey. If you haven't seen any updates on these, you can go and check them on my playlist, but you will want to watch this all the way through, believe me. It's been a journey with these. They've chewed through nests, they've escaped. Honestly, it's been crazy. So I am glad to update these. I'm glad to get them in their own natural setup. It isn't actually what I intended for them, this setup. It is the setup I intended, but not how I designed it in my head or how I thought I wanted it to look in the end. I did then also have to use a tank, which I was going to use for some dart frogs, but because these needed a home more immediately, be sort of like a forever increasing colony, I did need to move them on. You'll see throughout the video, that there's certain things that have gone wrong, and to the point where I haven't seen the queens since I moved them in, which is the biggest concern for me, because obviously when they escaped, the majority of them were still inside the nest and things, but obviously there were ants climbing the walls, which then ultimately meant that I wasn't too sure what was going on with the colony. But you'll see all that within this footage. But as always from me, peace and love. I'm out. As you can see, the colony is just booming. Again, I'm having to clean this outworld every week, but they are just going absolutely crazy. It's only good, obviously, but I will have to start thinking about, an upgrade, and that sort of leads on to what happens next. I did want to move them into the Ferranto wooden nest that I won in a competition. I was lucky enough, to win the competition. I am wanting to add them in, so I'll show you the footage of where I had them in. You'll also see what went wrong, how it went wrong, and why it went wrong, and I will explain throughout the video, sort of midway through, exactly what went wrong, what I did to fix it, and sort of what's going on to this day. I had to move the pine cones in the outworld, or keep them in the outworld, because they did nest in that also. So that got moved into the new setup. As you can see though, it was going swimmingly. Put it on the heat mat. They moved in within literally 2 hours, and they absolutely loved it. I thought that was an ant there as well, but it's not. Morning after though, I remember I came down. I was making a coffee. It was literally, I think I moved them in at around 10 o'clock at night, or finally shut it all off in terms of the move and not checking on them. I thought, yep, they're in, they're doing great, and that was that. I saw ants everywhere. As you can see here, it was an absolute disaster. That's exactly where they escaped from. They dug a hole there. Now they chewed through that wooden nest in literally just overnight, and they were honestly everywhere. On the grout lines, on the tiles, they were on the worktops, they were up the walls, on the floors, everything. And it was an absolute nightmare. They then forced my hand. I spent the next 2 hours individually getting them with a cotton bud, picking them up, putting them in the outworld, picking them up, putting them in the outworld. I managed to get I put the wooden nest in a temporary tank that I'd flew on while I retrieved them all. And like I said, they just forced my hand. This was the build for them. I did have a speed build for it, last Sunday I think I uploaded a longer version. Yep, it was last Sunday I uploaded a longer version of this, but this is just a speed run to recap on exactly what I did. It was so frustrating though, because as you can imagine, I was hoping that this would go much better. I did have a completely different plan of how it would go. I just had to drop that wooden nest in with the mini high-tech ants nest. So I dropped that in, and they went fine. It was going fine. I added some springtails in here. I also added some Porcellio scaber isopods. I tend to find that they just absolutely boom in population. The type of isopods that really don't mind whatever environment they're in. So I just want to take a minute to say, while this, the footage is rolling, I haven't seen the queen still to this day. I don't know if the queen's in there. I have seen some ants in the kitchen coming out of small holes in the walls, but again, I haven't seen the queen. Ultimately, I am absolutely devastated because I've had this colony since there was 7 workers. They're now at easy 400-500 strong. and I can imagine that there would be actually a lot more there if I didn't have those escapees. And you know, ultimately I probably lost 10-20 of those workers in the process of the move, and also from when they escaped. So I am gutted, because you know, if the queens got within the walls of the house, obviously that is the worst case scenario. I will have to then ultimately either pay for you know, some poison to obviously kill the colony, or I would have to get someone out. I know someone who does pest control to get them out, to basically get rid of them, which is again just killing them. They're not a native species, so ultimately I would have to do that. So it's devastating when you've gone from, you know, 7 workers to 500, and something like that happens. Just such a small mistake, and again, I don't want Franto to, you know, get any grief or anything, because his nests are absolutely awesome. They work for everybody else. It just happens that I didn't personally do enough research in regards to, you know, the Crematogaster Scutellaris, or how easy they can chew through wood. I assumed because it was hardwood, it wouldn't be easy for them, but they just went through within half a night, and yeah, I'm gutted. So we'll see. We'll see if the tank here keeps going, keeps developing. I'm seeing a lot more activity, and they are increasing in numbers, and that's only a good sign. But if I continue to see increasing numbers in the kitchen, then I know that they've nested in the walls, or they've nested in the little wooden section where you see where the scorpion tank is. That's where they were going in on them grout lines. And you know, it's like the worst case scenario, worst thing that could have happened to the colony, worst thing that could have happened to me in terms of, you know, raising them. It's just something so stupid, and I'm really paying the price for it now. So, you know, if anyone does keep this species, just remember, wooden nests are an absolute write-off if they aren't sort of secluded within something like a tank. So the giant cork piece I put in there, they've already nested in. They're absolutely loving that cork piece. I've put 2 heat mats on, one underneath and one at the back, just to keep them extra warm. So they have nested in the cork straight away, literally half a day, again, straight in the cork, and they've nested. But either way, I'm just frustrated with myself that I didn't do enough research on that. You know, I knew the nesting cork. I don't know why I didn't put the 2 together. It's frustrating. Anyway, you know, we'll crack on with the footage. These are some of the isopods that I did add in. I always think isopods are just so cute. I always have. And you can see them just exploring the new homes. This one's currently just taking a little walk on the air plant. I did attach these with hot glue. I've got some little artificial mosses on there. With it being, you know, a succulent one, I just wanted some more. I just love my mosses, as you'll probably know watching the channel. You've got, you know, your detail or texture on the rocks to the sand. I added in, you know, your sugar feeder, your water, so they'll be absolutely fine there. And what I'll do is I'll just play the footage, let you see the tank and sort of the areas that they live in now. So this is where they nested. I was obviously highlighting it just so you could see. And they were in there literally within half a day again. Not even that probably. They'd already dug in 2 holes, and obviously they're using them quite effectively at the moment, we'll say. But what we'll do is I'll just keep rolling some footage out of the tank, the ants. Just remember to drop that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, hit that bell icon so you get all of my notifications. And you know, as always from me guys, peace and love, I'm out.